Hello, good evening. I am Ishat, a volunteer for the Salesian Lay Volunteers organization. A few months back, when the COVID pandemic hit and the number of COVID positive cases began to rise, my anxiety levels rose with it. I would often come home from work, suddenly crying for no apparent reason, and I often wish that I wouldn't have to go to work and I can stay at home where it's much safer. But of course, the next day I have to get up and show up at work because I'm needed there. My panic attacks came more often, and I didn't know how else to deal with it except through prayer. While prayer did help allay my fears somehow, my emotional stresses continued to grow, and then eventually it took a toll on my health. Surprisingly, the anxiety that I've been experiencing in the past months were lessened when I got sick, as my psychological distress was shifted to focus on my physical health. I believe it was a force greater than myself that helped me keep my presence of mind to make sound decisions, such as to stay at home, stop going to work, and avoid close contact with my family members. And of course, to seek help for my symptoms. But seeking help was not easy, and I worried not only for myself, but for my family most importantly. Finally, by God's grace, I was able to get myself checked and began medication, which helped rather quickly in reducing my symptoms. By the time I was getting better, my results came back positive for COVID-19. It still came as a shock for me, even when I know I was getting better and was already halfway through my isolation period. Thankfully, I had the most amazing support system of my family, my loved one, and my friends, whose prayers and whose presence, even though we were far apart, kept me strong and hopeful that I will continue to overcome this illness. Reflecting on these events, it made me think how difficult it must be for people who have neither the access nor the resources or the support that they need when they experience symptoms or start getting sick. I was honestly hesitant to share my story, but I know that having come this far from that onset of fever, I now have the responsibility of spreading awareness to seek help immediately before it's too late. It's actually a race against time. I also hope that my story can make people realize how important it is to support one another as a family, as a church, as a community. The systems in place may not be working as how we expect them to be, but I believe our solidarity as a people is much, much stronger. And while the end of this pandemic is nowhere near, I hope that we will continue to hold fast and we will continue to be strong for ourselves and for one another. This is Ishat, wishing you all a good night.